Disclaimer: this is my first attempt at writing a full fledged story on my own, so, but it does not mean that I did not try my best. So, I really hope that you guys enjoy what I have wrote and you enjoyed as much as I enjoyed writing it. Thank you. Harry Potter and the Successors of Grindelwald. Parts 1 and 2. Part 1, Act 1, Scene 1. King's Cross. A busy and crowded station full of people trying to go somewhere. Amongst the hustle and bustle, two large cages rattle on top of two laden trolleys. They are being pushed by two boys, James Potter and Albus Potter. Their mother, Ginny, follows after. A 37-year-old man, Harry, has his daughter Lily on his shoulders. Albus: Dad, he keeps saying it. Harry: James, give it a rest. James: I only said he might be in Slytherin, and he might so. Of his dad's glare. Fine. Albus, looking up at his mum: You write to me, won't you? Ginny: Every day if you want us to. Albus: No, not every day. James says most people only get letters from home about once a month. I don't want to. Harry: We wrote to your brother 3 times a week last year. Albus: What? James? Albus looks accusingly at James, who grins back. Ginny: Yes, you may not want to believe everything he tells you about Hogwarts. He likes a laugh, your brother. James: Can we go now, please? Albus looks at his dad, and then his mum. Ginny: All you have to do is walk straight at the wall between platform 9 and 10. Lily: I'm so excited. Harry: Don't stop and don't be scared you'll crash into it. That's very important. Best to do it at a run if you're nervous. Albus: I'm ready. Harry and Lily put their hands on Albus's trolley. Ginny joins James' trolley, and together the family runs hard into the barrier. Act 1, Scene 2. Platform 9 and 3/4, which is covered in thick white steam pouring from the Hogwarts Express, and which is also busy. But instead of people in sharp suits going about their day, it's now wizards and witches in robes, mostly trying to work out how to say goodbye to their beloved progeny. Albus: This is it. Lily: Wow. Albus: Platform 9 and 3/4. Lily: Where are they? Are they here? Maybe they didn't come. Harry points out Ron, Hermione, and their daughter Rose and son Hugo. Lily runs hard up to them. Uncle Ron, Hugo. Ron turns towards them as Lily goes barreling up to him. He picks her up into his arms. Ron: If it isn't my favorite Potter. Lily: Did you finish the astronomy tower? Ron: Sorry, Lily, but I had some ministry work. I promised to complete it after this week. Lily looks disappointed. Hugo shrugs. Ron: Oh, come on, Lily. I promise we will complete it before October. Lily cheers up. Hugo and Lily start having a deep conversation about their 3D model of Hogwarts they were slowly building. Albus: Everyone is staring at us again. Ron: Just learn to ignore it. It's really not a big deal, Albus. Harry: Parked all right then. Ron: I did. Hermione didn't believe I could pass a Muggle driving test, did you? She thought I'd have to confront the examiner. Hermione: I thought nothing of that kind. I have complete faith in you. Rose: And I have complete faith he did confront the examiner. Ron: Rose? Albus: Dad. Albus pulls on Harry's robes. Harry looks down. Do you think? What if I'm put in Slytherin? Harry: And what would be wrong with that? Albus: Slytherin is house of snake, of dark magic. It is not a house of brave wizards. Harry: Albus Severus, you were named after 2 headmasters of Hogwarts. One of them was a Slytherin, and he was probably the bravest man I ever knew. Albus: But just say. Harry: If it matters to you, the Sorting Hat will take your feelings into account. Albus: Really? Harry: It did for me. This is something he's never said before. It resonates around his head for a moment. Hogwarts will be the making of you, Albus. I promise you, there is nothing to be frightened of there. James, sharply: Apart from the Thestrals, watch out for the Thestrals. Albus, I thought they were invisible. Listen to your professors, don't listen to James, and remember to enjoy yourself. Now, if you don't want this train to leave without you, you should leap on. Lily, I'm going to chase the train out. Ginny, Lily, come straight back. Hermione, Rose, remember to send Neville our love. Rose, Mom, I can't send our professor our love. Rose exits for the train, and then Albus turns and hugs Ginny and Harry one last time before following after her. Albus, okay, then bye. He climbs on board. Hermione, Ginny, Ron, and Harry stand watching the train as whistles blow up and down the platform. Ginny, they're going to be okay, right? Hermione, Hogwarts is a big place. Ron, big, wonderful, full of food. I'd give anything to be going back. Harry, strange. I'm being worried he'll be sorted into Slytherin. Hermione, that's nothing. Rose is worried whether she'll break the Quidditch scoring record in her first or second year, and how early she can take her OWLs. Ron, I have no idea where she gets her ambition from. Ginny, and how would you feel, Harry, if he is... Hermione, can we go? People are looking, you know. Ginny, people always look when you three are together and apart. People always look at you. The four exit. Ginny stops Harry. Harry, he'll be alright, won't he? Harry, of course he will. Act 1, Scene 3, Hogwarts Express. Albus and Rose walk along the carriage of the train, one full of dread and the other full of excitement. The trolley witch approaches from the opposite direction, pushing her trolley. Trolley witch. Anything from the trolley, dears? Pumpkin pasties, chocolate frogs, golden cakes. Rose, spotting Albus's loving look at the chocolate frogs. Al, we need to concentrate. Albus, concentrate on what? Rose, on who we choose to be friends with. My mom and dad met your dad on the first Hogwarts Express, you know. Albus, so we need to choose now who to be friends with for life? That's quite scary. Rose, on the contrary, it's exciting. I'm a Granger Weasley, you're a Potter. Everyone will want to be friends with us. We got the pick of anyone we want. Albus, so how do we decide which compartment to go in? Rose, we rate them all and then we make a decision. Albus opens a compartment to look in on a lonely blonde kid. Scorpius. In an otherwise empty compartment, Albus smiles. Scorpius smiles back. Albus, hi. Is this compartment? Scorpius, it's free. It's just me. Albus, great. So we might just come in for a bit, if that's okay. Scorpius, that's okay. Hi. Albus, my name is Albus. Scorpius, hi, Scorpius. I'm Scorpius. Yeah, Albus, I'm Scorpius. And you must be... Rose's face is growing colder by the minute. Rose. Scorpius, hi, Rose. Would you like some of my fizzing whiz-bees? Rose, I just had breakfast, thanks. Scorpius, I've also got some Choco Chalk, pepper imps, and some jelly slugs. Mum's idea, she says. Sweets, they always help you make friends. He realizes that singing was a mistake. Stupid idea, probably. Albus, I'll have some. Mum doesn't let me have sweets. Which one would you start with? Rose hits Albus out of sight of Scorpius. Scorpius, easy. I've always regarded the pepper imp as the king of the confectionery bag. They've peppermint sweets that make you smoke at the ears. Albus, brilliant. Then that's what I'll... Rose hits him again. Rose, will you stop hitting me? Rose, I'm not hitting you. Albus, you are hitting me and it hurts. Scorpius' face falls. She's hitting you because of me. Albus, what? Scorpius, listen. I know who you are, so it's probably only fair if you know who I am. Albus, what do you mean you know who I am? Scorpius, you're Albus Potter, she's Granger Weasley, and I'm Scorpius Malfoy. My parents are Astoria and Draco Malfoy. Our parents They didn't get on. Rose, that's putting it mildly. Your mum and dad were Death Eaters. Scorpius affronted. Dad was, but mum wasn't. Rose looks away. Scorpius knows why she does. I know what the rumor is, and it's a lie. Albus looks from an uncomfortable Rose to a desperate Scorpius. What is the rumor? Albus asks. Scorpius. The rumor is that I was bitten by a werewolf, Fenrir Greyback to be specific, and a muggle child was. Albus looking uncomfortable. What about the muggle child? Rose. He killed a muggle child when he transformed Albus. A horrible, uncomfortable silence fell. It's probably rubbish. Everyone knows the muggle child was actually bitten by a crazy dog. Albus. Oh. Scorpius. There's loads of proof in the ministry that no one was killed. Just ask your parents, they know all about it. Plus, I'm not a werewolf. Rose. Yes, well, we probably should sit somewhere else. Come on, Albus. Albus is thinking deeply. He tries to go on his instinct. Albus. No. Off Rose's look. I'm okay. You go on. Rose. Albus, I won't wait. Albus. I won't expect you to, but I'm staying here. Rose looks at him a second and then leaves the compartment. Rose. Fine. Scorpius and Albus are left looking at each other, unsure. Scorpius. Thank you. No, I didn't stay for you. I stayed for your sweets. And you are allowed to come into Hogwarts, so I don't see a problem here. Scorpius. She is quite fierce, and I'm not a werewolf. Albus. Sorry. And sorry about her too. Scorpius. No, I like her. I mean, do you prefer Albus or Al? Scorpius grins and pops two sweets in his mouth. Albus thinks. Albus. Scorpius. As smoke comes out of his ears. Thank you for staying for my sweets, Albus. Albus. Laughing. Wow. Act 1. Scene 4. Transition scene. And now we enter a netherworld of the time change. And this scene is all about magic. The changes are rapid as we leap between worlds. There are no individual scenes, but fragments, shards that show the constant progression of time. Initially, we're inside Hogwarts in the Great Hall, and everyone is dancing around Albus. Polly Chapman, Albus Potter, Carl Jenkins, a Potter in our year, Jan Fredericks. He's got his hair just like him. Rose, and he's my cousin. As they turn, Rose Granger Weasley, nice to meet you. The Sorting Hat walks to the students who spring into their houses. It becomes quickly apparent he is approaching Rose, who is tense as she awaits her fate. Sorting Hat. I've done this job for centuries. On every student's head I've sat, of thoughts I take inventories, for I'm the famous Sorting Hat. I've sorted high, I've sorted low, I've done the job through thick and thin, so put me on and you will know which house you should be in. Rose Granger Weasley. He puts his hat on Rose's head. Gryffindor. There's cheering from the Gryffindors as Rose joins them. Scorpius runs to take Rose's place under the Sorting Hat's glare. Sorting Hat. Scorpius Malfoy. He puts his hat on Scorpius' head. Slytherin. Scorpius was expecting this. He nods and half smiles. There's cheering from the Slytherins as he joins them. Polly Chapman. Well, that makes sense. Albus walks swiftly to the front of the stage. Sorting Hat. Albus Potter. He puts his hat on Albus's head, and this time he seems to take longer and almost like his T2 is confused. Slytherin. There's a silence, a perfect, profound silence. One that is slow, twists a bit, and has damage within it. Polly Chapman. Slytherin? Craig Barker Jr. Whoa, a Potter in Slytherin. Albus looks out, unsure. Scorpius smiles, delighted, as he shouts across to him. Scorpius. You can stand next to me. Albus. Thoroughly discombobulated. Right. Yes. Jan Fredericks. I suppose his air isn't that similar. Rose. Albus? But this is wrong, Albus. This is not how it's supposed to be. And suddenly a flying lesson is happening with Madam Hooch. Madam Hooch. Well, what are you all waiting for? Everyone stand by a broomstick. Come on, hurry up. The kids all hurry up into their position beside their brooms. Stick out your hands out and over your broom and say, up. Everyone, up. Rose and Jan's broom sail into their hands. Rose and Jan, yes. Madam Hooch, come on now. I've no time for shriekers. Say up. Up like you mean it. Everyone, bar Rose and Jan, up. Brooms sail up, including Scorpius's. Only Albus is left with his broom on the floor. Everyone, bar yours and Albus. Yes. Albus, up, up, up. His broom doesn't move, not even a millimeter. He stares at it with disbelieving desperation. There's a giggling from the rest of the class. Polly Chapman. Oh, Merlin's beard. How humiliating. He really isn't like his father at all, is he? Carl Jenkins. Albus Potter. The Slytherin squib. Madam Hooch. Okay, children, time to fly. And suddenly Harry appears from nowhere beside Albus as steam expands all over the stage. We're back on platform 9 and 3/4. And time has ticked on mercilessly. Albus is now a year older, as is Harry, but less noticeably. Albus, I'm just asking you, Dad, if you'll just stand a little away from me. Harry, amused. Second years don't like to be seen with their dads, is that it? Albus, no, it's just you're you and and me. It's people looking, okay? People look, and they're looking at me, not you. Albus, at Harry Potter and his disappointing son. Harry, taken aback. What does that mean? Albus, at Harry Potter and his Slytherin son. James rushes past them, carrying his bag. James, he looks more unhealthy than usual. Slytherin, stop with your dithering. Time to get onto the train. Harry, unnecessary, James. James, long gone. See you at Christmas, Dad. Harry looks at Albus, concerned. Harry, Albus. My name is Albus, not Al. Harry, are the other kids being unkind? Is that it? Maybe you tried making a few more friends. Without Hermione and Ron, I wouldn't have survived Hogwarts. I wouldn't have survived at all. Albus, but I don't need a Ron and a Hermione. I've got a friend, Scorpius, and I know you don't like him, but he is all I need. Harry, look, as long as you're happy, that's all that matters to me. Albus, you don't need to bring me to the station, Dad. Albus picks up his case and makes hard away. Harry, but I wanted to be here. But Albus is gone. Draco Malfoy, his rose perfect, his blonde ponytail precisely placed, emerges from within the crowd to be beside Harry. Draco, I need a favor. Harry, Draco. These rumors about him being a werewolf, they don't seem to be going away. The other Hogwarts students tease Scorpius about it relentlessly. If the ministry could release the werewolf registration papers and tell everyone Scorpius is not a werewolf. Draco, just let it blow over. They'll soon move on. I'm also really busy. Draco, my son is suffering, and Astoria hasn't been well recently, so he needs all the support he can get. Harry, I can't release the names of other werewolves, it will seriously damage their reputation. Draco frowns, annoyed as the stage clears and Rose and Albus are nearby with their cases. Albus, as soon as the train leaves, you don't have to talk to me. Rose, I know, we just need to keep up the pretense in front of the grown-ups. Scorpius runs on, with big hopes and an even bigger case. Scorpius, hopeful. Hi, Rose. Rose, definitive. Bye, Albus. Scorpius, still hopeful. She's melting. And suddenly we're in the Great Hall and Professor McGonagall is standing at the front with a big smile on her face. Headmistress McGonagall. And I am pleased to announce Gryffindor's newest member of the Quidditch team, our... She realizes she can't be partial. Your superb new chaser, Rose Granger Weasley. The hall erupts into cheers. Scorpius claps alongside them all. Albus, are you clapping her too? We hate Quidditch, and she's playing for another house. Scorpius, I think she's brilliant. The students circle Albus again as suddenly a potion class begins. Polly Chapman, Albus Potter, and irrelevance. Even portraits turn the other way when he comes up to the stairs. Albus hunches over a potion. Albus, and now we add, is it a horn of bicorn? Carl Jenkins, leave him and the werewolf to it, I say. Albus, with just a little salamander blood. The potion explodes loudly. Scorpius, okay, what's the counter ingredient? What do we need to change? Albus, everything. And with that, time moves on, ever onwards. Albus' eyes become darker, his face grows more sallow. He's still an attractive boy, but he's trying not to admit it. And suddenly he's back on platform 9 3/4, with his dad who is still trying to persuade his son and himself that everything is okay. Both have aged another year. Harry, third year, big year, here's your permission form for Hogsmeade. Albus, I hate Hogsmeade. Harry, growing more concerned. How can you hate a place you haven't actually visited yet? Albus, because I know it'll be full of Hogwarts students. Albus screws up the paper. Harry, just give it a go. Come on, this is your chance to go nuts and honeydews without your mum knowing. No, Albus, don't you dare. Albus pointing his wand. Incendio! The ball of paper bursts into flame and is sent across the stage. For all the stupid things, Harry exclaims. Albus, the ironic thing is I didn't expect it to work. I'm terrible at that spell. Harry, Albus, I've been exchanging hours with Professor McGonagall. She says you're isolating yourself. You're uncooperative in lessons. You're Albus. So what would you like me to do? Magic myself popular? Conjure myself into a new house? Transfigure myself into a better student? Just cast a spell, Dad, and change me to what you want me to be. Okay? It'll work better for both of us. Gotta go. Train to catch, friend to find. Albus turns to Scorpius, who's sitting on his case, numb to the world. Delighted. Scorpius! Concerned. Scorpius? Are you okay? Scorpius says nothing. Albus tries to read his friend's eyes. Your mum, it's got worse. Scorpius. It's got the worst it can possibly get. Albus sits down beside Scorpius. I thought you sent an owl. Scorpius. I couldn't work out what to say. Albus. And now I don't know what to say. Scorpius. Say nothing. Is there anything? Come to the funeral. Of course. And be my good friend. And suddenly the Sorting Hat is center stage and back in the Great Hall. Sorting Hat. Are you afraid of what you'll hear? Afraid I'll speak the name you fear? Not Slytherin, not Gryffindor, not Hufflepuff, not Ravenclaw. Don't worry, child, I know my job. You'll learn to laugh if first you sob. Lily Potter, Gryffindor. Lily, yes. Albus, great. Scorpius, did you really think she'll come to us? Potters don't belong in Slytherin. Albus, this one does. Sorting Hat, Hugo Weasley, Gryffindor. Albus buries his face in his palms due to the shame. Scorpius, feeling sympathetic, wants something but chooses not to. Act 1, Scene 5, Ministry of Magic, Harry's office. Hermione sits with piles of paper in front of her in Harry's messy office. She is slowly sorting through it all, reading and trying to understand. Harry enters in a rush. He is bleeding from a graze on his cheek. Hermione looks up beadily. Hermione, how did it go? Harry, very weird. Hermione, Theodore not? In trial, we investigated him. Hermione was now getting more interested. Hermione, what did you find? Was there an actual time turner? Harry sits in the guest chair opposite to Hermione and begins to speak. Harry, we did not find a time turner, a relief, but we found an interesting piece of rock. A piece of obsidian that, according to legend, is to be the giver of magic. Hermione, dumbfounded. What? A piece of obsidian that is the giver of magic? I never heard anything like that. Are you playing a joke on me? Harry, snorting a little bit. No, I'm not joking. Harry sees that Hermione was giving the look that quite resembled utter disbelief. It reminded him of the relentless jokes he and Ron were playing on her. See, I was also confused, but and thanks to the help of my wonderful colleagues, we did our research. Hermione now giving the same interesting look. Hermione, what did you find about it? Harry, well, in a secret dungeon, 10 floors beneath Theodore house, we found some books, like really, really old books. Books that were written 5 millenniums ago. And they describe the properties of rare obsidian rocks which are really hard to find. Apparently, they have the ability to give magic, and we don't know if it means to enhance the magic of wizards or give magic to muggles. Hermione looks at Harry with amazement. Wow, that is some seriously good find, if it is true. And I have a lot of questions. But let's start with the most obvious. Is the legend real? Harry, I think it is real, but the rocks being mentioned are like really rare. Hermione, but what about the one Theodore not has? Harry, the rock is the giver of magic according to Theodore not. We don't think it is actually the same mentioned in the ancient books. Hermione, how can you be sure? Harry, we are still investigating. The runes in the books are really hard to decipher. Don't know how Theodore did it. We don't know how he found this ancient dungeon, anyways. Hermione, but Harry saw the changing expression of Hermione and immediately knew what she was going to say. Harry, I know this is the Deathly Hallows situation all happening again. But Harry was wrong. She had something else to say. Hermione, no, I know that, but I was just asking. Why is Theodore in trial? What did he do? I mean, only good can come from this giver of magic, right? It gives magic. By the way, I'm not convinced you are being honest. Harry, oh, right. I forgot to explain. Well, Theodore, thought that to give magic to someone, he needs to stuff the rock inside the person. So, Hermione looked absolutely disgusted and horrified. A muggle died in the process. That is why he is in trial for killing a muggle. Hermione. Anyways, switching topics. This obsidian is a really big deal, Harry. Imagine all the possibilities in a world where there are only wizards. Harry, with a stern voice. Now don't get ahead of yourself. In my opinion, this is just some bogus Theodore believed in. Like I said, the runes are very difficult to decipher. Hermione. Can I take part in the runes translation? Harry looked like he expected this. Harry. Now, Hermione, I think Professor Babbling is more capable of handling this case. No doubt you're brilliant, but she is already on the case and she is finding this case the most difficult one she has ever faced. Harry, now satisfied clearing this up, was now realizing how tired he was and the cut on his cheek should probably be mended too. Hermione. Well, good night now, I guess. She yawned. Harry found it strange that Hermione had not said a single word about the cut on his cheek. His curiosity got the better of him. Harry. You know, Hermione, I should probably go to St. Mungus to get this cut mended. It is probably cursed. Hermione said lazily while standing up. What cut? Harry. The cut on my cheek. Hermione was now alarmed, but also amused. Harry also stood up. He too was alarmed. Harry. Now he. You don't see it? Hermione. No. Harry. Trying not to scare Hermione. I mean, I guess it looks small. And fighting Theodore, he was blasting spells left, right, and center. Harry showed the cheek where the cut was present. Hermione, she said quietly. Harry, I don't see anything. Act 1, Scene 6. Transition scene. The scene switches to the Slytherin common room, where it's late at night, the only time the two 13-year-old boys, Albus and Scorpius, are alone and at peace. Albus has noticed something, a blue sparkly button, opposite to the fireplace where they both were sitting. Albus. Scorpius? Scorpius. What? Albus. Do you see that blue sparkle across the room? Scorpius turns his face to see what Albus was seeing. Scorpius. Merlin's beard. Albus gets up from his chair. Scorpius. What is that? Albus walks up to the blue sparkly button and pulls out his wand. Scorpius. Slightly alarmed. Albus, careful! Scorpius also gets up and stands beside Albus. Scorpius. We should probably report this to a teacher, probably, maybe. Albus. What happens if I tap it with my wand? Scorpius. Maybe not. Albus taps the blue sparkly button and out of nowhere a chit appears and lands softly on Albus's hand. Scorpius is in awe. He excitedly exclaims, That is the most coolest thing I ever seen. Albus. It's not cool. Anyways, Albus whispers the text to Scorpius. The one who comprises rare magical abilities may learn these often used special spells. Scorpius. What if they are dangerous spells? Albus. They are not, because here it says what the spells do. Eruptio Lucis, a great good firework. Magnum Pyrotechnicum, a firework overture. Scorpius, his mouth open. Do they actually work? Albus, yeah, but it says here it will take a little bit of a practice to master it. 1 week to be precise. A dueling lesson is happening with the supervision of Professor Zeller. After the class is over, Scorpius sees a blue sparkle under the table and he also gets a chit. He whispers to Albus, only the rare and the savior of muggles shall see this magical message. Albus, does it what? Does it mean we're more magical and rare than other people? Scorpius, uh, I don't know. It says we are savior of muggles. Scorpius reading the chit further. Hogwarts themed fireworks. Should we inform the teacher about this? Albus, I think that is a good idea. Remember what happened to my mother in her first year with that diary? What if someone is just playing a prank? Scorpius, let's see what the headmistress says about this. Albus and Scorpius both go up to the headmistress McGonagall and shows the bits of parchment to her. Headmistress McGonagall, what parchment? I don't see anything. Are you both pulling a joke on me? Well, I would advise you to pull this joke on someone else and not waste my time. I'm quite busy at the moment. Albus and Scorpius both are dumbfounded. The scene switches to the Slytherin common room in the dungeons. Albus, the chits were invisible to her. Scorpius, his eyes drift dreamily at the common room ceiling. What if the chits are true? What if we are the savior of muggles? Albus, the chits themselves don't make sense. We need more. Albus and Scorpius searched their classes for 2 weeks and only wound up with 2 chits, giving them 10 more insanely cool firework spells. Albus, they are just more spells. Scorpius, these are fireworks. Sound very cool to be honest. Albus, but Scorpius, remember, we don't deal with cool things. Scorpius, Albus, I think we are getting a bit mad with this uncoolness. Let's give these fireworks a try, I say. Let's be cool for once. Think about it deep down. I think you want to be cool. Don't you want to be cooler than all the people that mistreat us? Scorpius is amazed at his own reasoning, which also amazes Albus. Albus, yeah. He looks at Scorpius. Yeah, you're right. These fireworks sound pretty cool. Scorpius is beaming at Albus, who beams back. Scorpius gives him a thumbs up, but then suddenly Albus's grin fades away. Albus, there's a problem. Scorpius, oh come on. Did you even look at the chits? A 40-foot green fireworks serpent whose size can be changed depending on practice. I was sold when I read this. Albus, no. It just... Where are we going to practice them? It says we need a week to practice, and I guess probably a large field. Scorpius, now realizing what Albus just said. Scorpius, yeah, yes, Act 1, Scene 7, The Room of Requirement. The two boys, Albus and Scorpius, are in amazement as they stare in awe at the large room the size of the entire castle. Scorpius, gazing at the magically enchanted sky above where the sun was shining brightly. Merlin's beard, this is so cool. Albus says darkly. Better be. Finding this place was a challenge for sure. Let's just hope no one other than us will bother asking the house elves in the kitchen for a secret place. Scorpius, now sitting in the grass, his legs folded, organizing the chits they had gathered, replied to Albus, I don't think many people know where the kitchens are in the first place. Albus, yeah, anyway, let's see if our pocket money was worth this. Scorpius, let's try the Eruptio Lucis spell. Albus walked forward into the vast field and with all his might yelled, Eruptio Lucis. A jet of white light shot from Albus's wand and went 80 feet in the air before getting distributed into 50 directions, and a second later they were exploding bigger and brighter than any firework they have ever seen. Albus and Scorpius were both awestruck, and after the firework died a whole minute later, Scorpius stuffed his chits into his pockets and ran towards Albus. He was now panting. Scorpius, that was the coolest thing ever. Albus beaming. This firework could single-handedly take over the Death Day celebration of Voldemort. Scorpius beaming more harder. I know, right? Albus and Scorpius proceeded to have the best night of their lives, laughing and teasing and competing with each other. One of these nights, Albus and Scorpius trying to get the white light to turn yellow, when Scorpius, who just had his turn, spoke to Albus, looking slightly uneased. Scorpius, did you hear about Hugo? Albus, who had just managed to make the tail of his firework bright yellow, was jumping in excitement. Albus was yelling to Scorpius with enthusiasm. Did you see that? The tail turned yellow. I did it. I'm better. I win. Scorpius gave a short smile and turned to his question. Albus, do you realize what happened to Hugo? Albus was disappointed with Scorpius. Albus laughed. What about Hugo? Didn't you see what I did? Or were you lost in your obsession with Rose? Honestly, man, I think Rose is right. You need to calm down. Otherwise, you'll do more harm than good. Scorpius felt a sharp needle pierce his heart, but he chose to ignore it and continued. It's not about Rose. It's about her brother, Hugo. You know, his magic, kind of died. You realize that what that means? What if, our magic died too? We are not exactly great wizards. We are bad at everything except these fireworks. It was true. Albus and Scorpius were not great wizards and were basically terribly at everything. This fact was also true that from the start of the year, many students who were not so pleasant about this have been taken away from Hogwarts to return home by their shocked parents because their magic died. Albus had not given this news a single bit of thought because he spent all day dreaming about the grand fireworks and sleeping and the rest of his night practicing the grand fireworks, which proved to be a lot fun for him even though he made slow progress. Scorpius, just like him, had an equal admiration for the fireworks, but always got distracted when everything related to Rose came up. To his good fortune, Rose never noticed. Albus puts his hand on Scorpius' shoulder dramatically. Albus, if magic died in one of us, you both drop out, okay? Scorpius laughs. Stop being so dramatic. Anyways, I think if magic did die in one of us, the other should become a wizard capable of both of us combined. Albus frowns. That's difficult. Scorpius. We will have to try. The scene switches to the Great Hall where Albus and Scorpius were sitting at the Slytherin table next to Jack Foley and Colton Flint. Dozens of owls came flying in during breakfast. Albus and Scorpius had never bothered to read the Daily Prophet, so they borrowed one from Jack. Last night's talk between Albus and Scorpius had brought their senses back to earth and now showed a keen interest in the current affairs of the magical world. Jack, here you go. It is the same as usual. The war in Japan, magic fading out. Jack was in the same year as Albus. He had black eyes, jet black hair, and was taller for his age. He often was teased for having cowards as parents since they went into hiding during the two wars against Voldemort. All this teasing was, however, shut down because he was really good at transfiguration and was the Slytherin keeper. He was not very handsome. Scorpius. Yeah, thanks. Scorpius took the paper from Jack. Albus leaned over to look while holding a fork which had a mashed potato on it. They were both astonished to find that the Japanese Ministry of Magic and the Japanese School of Witchcraft and Wizardry, Mahutukoro, had fallen. The country was now dictated by the great, dark, and evil wizard, Yamamoto Katsuo. Albus. Look, it says here he has spies throughout the world, using Polyjuice potion. Scorpius. As the breach of statute of secrecy has been rampant in this region, there were multiple attempts at quashing the dictatorship, but all were in vain. Obliviators working round the clock. There will be a third attempt of bringing down the dictatorship in October next year. Albus. He has been using powerful magic which has been rarely heard and gathering more wizards in his ranks day by day. Scorpius looks at Albus. Rough time your dad's going through. He will have to organize all the orders. Albus always frowned at the mention of his dad. Albus. I'm going back for Christmas this year. Scorpius, surprised. Why? Albus lies. I'll try to get a good look at the model of Hogwarts Lily has, for the grand effect. Albus and Scorpius had a code word to talk about the fireworks, which was called the grand effect. Scorpius, well, I guess I'm going to. Albus, sorry, Scorpius, it's okay. It's for the grand effect. Act 1, Scene 8, Harry and Ginny Potter's house. Albus, Lily, and James have arrived to their home for Christmas. Albus goes to his room, gets ready, and comes downstairs to the living room. Ginny and Lily are having a quarrel. Lily, I still don't understand why I can't play with the model. I already know everything about the castle already. Ginny, you're going to Hogwarts and Hugo isn't. It is a disciplinary measure. Lily rounds up on Harry. Lily, you can't be taking this seriously. Albus waits for the argument to die down. Ever since he and Scorpius have been breaking school rules to practice the mysterious firework spells, he has found himself a newfound self-esteem in himself. Before Albus could say anything, Harry called everyone to the living room for an announcement. They waited for James who came downstairs. He looked unhealthy as usual. Harry, everyone here? Good. Now I am here to announce that. He paused for dramatic effect. Your aunt and uncle, Rose and Hugo, are all coming to our house for Christmas. There were mixed reactions from Harry's children. Lily was very excited. James didn't show any sign of expression. Albus gave an unconvincing smile. He didn't want to think of the prospect of seeing Rose. According to Albus, she was unbearable. Albus finally got the opportunity he wanted. He confronted his parents. Albus, I wanted to ask you a question. Harry, ask away. Albus, why didn't you take us to the Quidditch World Cup last year? Harry frowns. Because I was extremely busy and you know what has been happening in Japan and the war. It's all over the Daily Prophet. Albus, you forgot to give a present to me last year, but remember to send Rose a gift on Christmas. Harry snaps back. Mistakes can happen from an old man. Stop asking questions. Albus stood there defiantly for the first time against his parents. I will ask questions. How come you always boss me around, but Lily and James are allowed to do whatever they want? Harry, finally losing his temper. You know what? I'm done with being made responsible for your unhappiness. At least you've got a dad, because I didn't, okay? Albus, and you think Dad was unlucky? I don't. Harry, you wish me dead? Albus, no, I just wish you weren't my dad. Harry, well, there are times I wish you weren't my son. There's a silence. Ginny is busy in the kitchen. James already went to his room. Lily is standing there terrified. Harry, no, I didn't mean that. Albus, yes, you did, and I hope we get our wish. You were never like this. Albus is going to his room. He spots Lily. Albus, sorry, Lily. The scene switches to Albus's room. It is almost morning. Albus is not able to digest the argument he had with his dad. He had not slept with a single second and was lying on his bed. His stomach rumbles. He gets up and sneakily tries to go to the kitchen. On his way downstairs, he sees the door leading to his parents' room. At first, he thinks nothing about it, but then he hears voices. Still mad at his dad, he sneaks to the door and eavesdrops. He hears a voice that was nothing like his father talking to someone. Got the potion ready? That Albus kid is really getting on my nerves. Is there a chance he can figure us out? I just got a bad feeling about him. Albus was very confused. What were they talking about? He was expecting a high-pitched voice to respond, but to his shock, there was a distinct male voice who responded who was definitely a different person. Nonsense. The door is magically enchanted by the magic only a person with the same caliber of our king can penetrate. And let me remind you, there is no such person. Albus looked round to see there was a purple sunflower with blue petals on it. and the voice seemed to be coming from it. Maybe all of this was a lie. He tried to look from the keyhole, and to his horror, two adult Japanese wizards were in the room. One was putting something in two goblets, and the other was sitting in bed, lost in thought. The latter spoke. Well, we have James under the Imperious curse. Lily is just a child, and Albus is annoying. Good thing we took Lily's model. We will ship the model to Terry in about a week and tell Lily that it was destroyed. Because if because it was found illegal. I'll convince Ron and he'll tell Hugo about it. The wizard pouring the goblets had finished. He grinned and gave one of the goblet to himself and the other to the wizard sitting on the bed. Finished, Ichiro? Good. They both drank the potion and they turned it into Ginny and Harry. This was the last straw for Albus. His rage and fury was throbbing inside like a giant tiger ready to pounce. He took out his wand. It is then he realized that the keyhole had enlarged itself to fit Albus's face, but the fake Ginny and Harry had not noticed him, as though the door was completely normal. He pointed the wand at fake Ginny's hand. Albus whispered, Incendio. Fake Ginny's hand was on fire. Ginny. Ah, Harry, who's fake Harry. Augmenti. They both were very confused at what just happened. Albus quickly left the scene. He had no appetite anymore. He went inside his room. His brain was now flooded with questions. More he thought, the more rage was building inside him. His older brother was under the Imperious curse. That is why he was always unhealthy and most of the time expressionless. They couldn't Imperious him or Lily though. Why? They are going to ship the model Lily, Hugo, and Uncle Ron made to a spy in Hogwarts. His name was Terry. He didn't know any Terrys in Hogwarts. The biggest question of them all. How long have his parents not been his parents? Were his real parents even alive? Albus's whole world has shattered. His stomach was dropping into a bottomless pit. Within a few minutes, he had blacked out. He had fainted and hit the ground. He woke up with a sore forehead. For a moment, he felt pretty good, but then he remembered the events of last night. Now he was accompanied with absolute fury and determination. He was going to bring justice to himself. He was going to bring justice to his siblings and his real parents. He sat bolt upright to see his fake mother standing there, and sure enough, he spotted the burnt hand on her face. He looked at her with absolute loathing. Albus, angrily, You! What are you doing in my room? Fake Ginny was taken aback. Taking care of you, of course. You fainted by the looks of it. Now calm down. Albus says rudely, I'm perfectly alright, thanks. What time is it? Fake Ginny. Almost sunset. Ron, Hermione, and Rose and Hugo are about to arrive. Come down in 10 minutes. Albus, doing quick thinking. I'll come at dinner. Fake Ginny. Fine. The fake Ginny had left. Albus wanted time to think this through. It all made sense. The bad temper was from the imposters, not his real parents. They were Japanese. The dictator in Japan had spies all over the world. Why wouldn't he be spying on the boy who lived? If they were imposters, then who else was an imposter excluding Terry? Then it hit him. These were dangerous waters. He needs to play this smartly. If they figured out he knew their secret, they would surely. His stomach lurched at the thought of what might happen. It was crucial to not lose temper. It was dinner time. He could hear voices from below. He made to exit his room. He opened the door. He felt his face go white. He felt anxiety beyond anything he felt. He went downstairs slowly. He saw Rose and Lily trying to cheer up a sulking Hugo. He thinks at the spot. He says in a high-pitched voice, Albus, Hi Rose, can I have a word? Rose gives a confused look at Albus, sighs. Rose, Sure. Albus thought that if there was anyone who could teach him defense against the dark arts, it was Rose. He wasn't sure if he could trust anyone with information about his parents. It would be very high risk. Albus, let's go to my room. Rose, Sure. They both enter Albus's room. Albus, Rose, this is important. I wanted you to teach me Defense against the dark arts. Rose. Albus, you are so predictable. Of course, of course. Albus' anxiety is broken for a second. What? What do you mean? Rose. I'm obviously best in our year, and I'm your cousin, so since you're a nobody, you would want to obviously take advantage of me. It was only a matter of time. Albus was completely taken aback by this. There was a short silence. Albus. So that's a no or a yes? Rose. Sorry, Albus, but I'm not going to help a Slytherin. Gryffindor has won 5 house championships in a row, and I would really like Gryffindor to win. Albus's temper was growing. Albus. So that is what you care about. House championships. You have any idea what is going out there? Rose. There is nothing out there. Voldemort has been dead for 22 years. What are you even talking about? Albus. The war in Japan. Rose. That's none of our business. You're just sending aid to them. Albus was dumbfounded. Just because you're a lost cause and your parents admit it doesn't mean you have to bother me. Albus. Fine. I'll do it all by myself. He shouts at the top of his lungs. Rose sneered. I would love to see you try. The adults heard the shouting and came to diffuse the tension. The following Christmas holidays, Albus refused to talk to Rose, which is how their parents figured out that they weren't friends anymore. On Christmas, Albus packed the presents his fake parents gave him and vowed to destroy them the first chance he got. It was a remember all from his fake mother and a guide to basic spellcasting from his fake dad. Act 1, Scene 9. Scene switches to the inside of the Hogwarts Express. Craig and Carl round up on Albus while Rose is watching the scene unfold. Craig. So, Albus, surprised seeing you here. Had a good Christmas? Probably not. Carl. Let's get to business. Give us your pocket money. No Rose to save you from us. This was the moment where Rose told them off for bullying Albus, but since they were on bad terms, Rose didn't care. Albus hands over his bag of sickles. Albus. Here you go, you flobberworms. Newfound information of his parents had given him a newfound confidence. Craig. What did you say? Albus. I said you all are flobberworms. Craig and Carl proceeded to beat Albus in the ribs and legs, while Rose pretended to not notice anything. A prefect comes over. Lorcan's commander. Hey, what on earth are you up to? He spots Albus, who was spitting blood on the floor. He scolded Craig and Carl and said that he was going to report this to their head of house, Professor Longbottom. Albus's fury only grew. He found Scorpius' compartment and stepped into it, find a smiling Scorpius. His grin faded, seeing a bruised and limping Albus. Scorpius. Who did this to you? Albus. Carl and Craig. It's not important. Scorpius. Concerned. I think it's pretty important. You should report this to the headmistress. This is surely expulsion worthy. Albus. There are more important things. Albus filled Scorpius in on what happened on Christmas. Scorpius was horror struck. Scorpius. But the flower, it is the same magic we have encountered. The blue pieces of parchment. Maybe it is trying to help us. Albus. Whatever it is, the fact of the matter is, we are terrible wizards. Scorpius. What does Albus? Everything. We need to learn defense against the dark arts because I am going to duel them. Scorpius is impressed and panicking. Scorpius. But maybe you should tell an adult. Albus. They have special kind of magic that we also have. It's got to be us. And if you are not going to help, I will do it. Albus had a feeling that only he or Scorpius could save his real mother and father if they were alive. Scorpius was trying to reason him that this was absurd and it is too dangerous when he noticed Albus's eye got cross-eyed and then go back to normal, but not fixed at anything. Scorpius, alarmed. Albus. Albus. Don't panic. I am seeing something. The scene switches to the Hogwarts Express, but something is different. He sees a slightly older Jack Foley, looking tensed, taking quick glances into a compartment. Inside the compartment was an older girl with brown hair that reached her shoulders. She was looking outside the train. It was a bright sunny day. And Jack finally opened the compartment door. Jack. He smiled. Hi, Olivia. Olivia, who looked delighted. Oh, hi, Jack. Come sit down. Jack. He couldn't stop smiling. Thank you. Olivia. What brings you here? Jack. Uh. Olivia. She ignored Jack's embarrassment. Did you see Albus taking down Fred in this year's dueling championship? I mean, no offense, but I think no one expected Albus to be on par with the seventh years. Jack. Yeah, I mean, it was even surprising to me. I mean, I thought I knew him, but apparently not. He sleeps in my dormitory, for heaven's sake. Olivia. You have a tough year ahead. Jack, blushing. Why, am I? Olivia smiled. You have to write your owls next year. I thought you would be more concerned. Jack. Of course, of course. I'm practicing already actually. Already wrote them? Olivia. Yeah, it was not as hard as I thought. I hope I get good grades. They will be arriving this summer. Jack, blushing harder. You can give me tips. It will be more easier for me. I'm only good at transfiguration. Olivia. I don't think I can. Jack, who looked like he got hit with a brick. Why not? I don't see any issues. Olivia. She also looked gloomy. You are a Slytherin. I am a Gryffindor. You are a pureblood. I am a Muggleborn. People would not like it. Slytherins and purebloods have a bad time nowadays, except perhaps Albus and Scorpius. Jack. Well, I think it is probably time we consider everyone equal. We can be the first ones to bring equality between the houses. Olivia stared at Jack for a short moment and quickly fixed her gaze out of the window. Olivia. You know, Jack, I always thought that muggles got a bad rap. They can't do magic and have to find solutions that are very slow. I thought after graduating from Hogwarts, maybe I can maybe make the muggles into wizards and witches. She looked at Jack, who was not able to cover the surprise in his face quickly. Olivia. She said sharply. You think I'm insane? Jack, taken aback. No, not at all. I just need to think more about it. Olivia. Don't say this to anyone, okay? Especially the purebloods. They'll be horrified at this thought. Jack. Wait. Why did you tell me this? Olivia blushed and suddenly was very interested in the trees outside. Jack. Feeling triumphant. Who do you think is going to win the Quidditch Cup this year? My bet is on Slytherin. Olivia. I think it will be Hufflepuff. The two commanders are very good. The scene switches to a Hogwarts corridor. Olivia is talking to another sixth year girl. Olivia. I also hope that magic died in all the Slytherins. Sixth year girl. Yeah, true. Will you explain why were you hanging out with that Folly? He is pureblood and a Slytherin. You know that, right? And Jack was entering the corridor. Olivia. Oh, he is just a freak. Honestly, I wish his magic died so he can leave me alone. Jack stops in his tracks. Olivia looks around to see Jack trembling with anger. She is visibly in horror. Jack. Fine, I'll leave you alone. Jack storms away while Olivia is calling after him. Olivia. Jack. Jack. Sixth year girl. You lied to me. You two were together. Well, go have fun with that weirdo. The sixth year girl, disgusted at Olivia, also leaves her. Olivia covers her face with her hands, was shaking with audible sobs. The scene switches to Olivia sitting alone in the Quidditch pitch. She was drenched with heavy rain. Jack came behind her. Jack. Olivia? She stood up and turned around. Olivia, crying. Jack, I'm sorry. I was only saying it to her because no one would approve us. Jack, little uneasy. I'm sorry too. I should have known. But I wanted to tell you something. The muggles into magic that you were talking about. Well, there's an artifact in the Ministry of Magic that will actually make that happen. It was found by Mr. Potter 4 years ago, but no one bothered to investigate it. There was a short silence before Olivia flung her arms around Jack's neck, and buried her face into his. After a very long time, they both freed each other. Right then, there was a scream. Avada Kedavra. There was a green light that flashed in front of Jack's eyes. He stared at Olivia, who was now lifeless and was falling backwards. A horror struck Jack, who was taken over by grief, rounded on the person who had just killed Olivia. Jack, you murderer! The person was not visible in the rain, but he had a deep voice. An evil grin was forming in the shadow. Missed my target. I was meant to kill you. I was tipped off that one of the Slytherins was none other the one with the equal capability to that of our king. I don't see any blue pieces of parchment with you right now, but I can't risk it. You must die. Avada Kedavra. Another flash of green light, and Jack lay on top of Olivia, motionless. His eyes showed no sign of life. The scene switches back to the Hogwarts Express, in the compartment where Albus and Scorpius were sitting, going back to Hogwarts after the Christmas holidays. Albus had seen everything. Albus. Scorpius, I think I just saw the future. You have to listen. Scorpius. You don't need to. Albus. I'm not going crazy, Scorpius. Scorpius. I know you are not. I saw the vision too. Albus. You did? Scorpius. I saw everything. Albus. You believe me? About my mom and dad and everything? Scorpius. Everything.